Yeah, hi everyone. My name is Ravi. I'm the co-founder CEO of Zeeve. And today on Web3 Voice, we have a very exciting session. We have Steve from PandaSea. He's the founder of PandaSea. And PandaSea is a very innovative startup, an L1, which is powering the liquid decentralized marketplace across different digital assets and real world assets. And I think sports is one of the key area that PandaSea is offering. And I think the topic for today's session is mainly focused on the sports-driven financial market, which PandaSea is enabling. So first of all, I would like to welcome Steve on the show. And Steve, we would like you to introduce yourself, tell us about your journey in Web3, about yourself a bit, and your motivation to start PandaSea.
Thank you, Dr. Ravi. So, yeah. Well, I've been involved in the crypto space for a long time. I was even involved before the 2009 time period when people were doing different experiments and trying to find their way towards the world that we now live in, which is blockchain-centric financial systems. And I also have a lot of experience at traditional Web2 software development for large, complicated business systems, where we transitioned into consumer side stuff around the around 2015 or so. And, my passion has always been using, my talent as a product person and product designer to build products that will enrich the lives of other people. And there's no better way to enrich the lives of other people than to build products that actually create wealth and share it with the community, which is why that's kind of the foundational principle of PandaSea, trying to use, knowledge that people have, digital abilities that people have, and create frameworks around things they love, like sports, where they can participate in the economics because they are the ones creating the value.
No, that's very exciting, Steve. And I think we are having an OG on this session today. And I'm sure we all would love to hear about your insights, the kind of product you have built, and the further products that you are planning to build at PandaSea. So coming to sports, and I see that PandaSea is going to cover quite a few use cases, whether it be real world assets, other digital assets. But coming to sports performance. So first, as you rightly said, designing products that solve a real problem, generate wealth, generate value, not just for yourself, but for the larger community, I think is the right way to do product development. So, and so to identify the problem statement or to understand it a bit more, traditional sport betting is extractive and leaves fans with no lasting ownership. And that we have seen, I think, NFT try to do that. So can you walk us through what are the current inefficiencies in today's sports wagering market that PandaSea is trying to solve?
Yeah. So what we have is people love sports and they have tremendous knowledge about sports. They know more about sports than they know about finance or companies in general. The average sports fan has an incredible detailed knowledge, but there is no way for them to make money from that knowledge other than the one poor model presented to them, which is the betting industry. And the betting industry is a model that is poor in the sense that 97% of the people who participate in that model will lose money over the course of a year. That is an exploitive model that is not good for society, but is very good for the betting companies. So that is an industry that we felt that we could create a permanent digital asset class that has the dynamics of a stock market and cryptocurrencies combined, where people could buy into the performance value of their team over time. And this would be a permanent tradable asset on the sport exchange, which is the first landmark product of the PandaSea environment. So the amount of people who could benefit from this completely different model, which is not a betting model, which is an investment digital asset model, the number of people who could benefit from that is in the billions, both small local fans and large supporters of clubs, large traditional investors, could all have access to this new digital asset class. And this asset class is backed by a very unique and intricate model that utilizes blockchain, automated market makings, bonding curves. It's supported by liquidity in the automated market maker. It's supported by funds that are put into the what we call the performance pool, where when people buy these digital assets, they're funding liquidity on the automated market maker, and they're funding something we call the performance pool, which every week will buy the keys. These are the digital assets that we've built for each team. They're called keys. The performance pool will buy the keys of the teams that are performing well over the season. So it's over the long term, and it drives constant demand. These keys also have a utility for use in a free Pick 5 fantasy game. So key holders can access weekly cash prizes for free, but that's just a small gamified side thing to enable people to get engaged. And the main thing is truly a serious new asset class for sports called keys.
I think that's super interesting. I've seen few platforms in the Web2 space which have been trying to solve something like this, but I think having this in a decentralized way and powered by a solid token economics is definitely, I believe, is a game changer. So coming to a bit more about, how the Panda token powers the whole system, whether it be, betting on the or participating in the sports performance to AMM based yields to the fans. So how does the whole token economics works? Ensuring that the token value continues to have a tremendous value, and there's a continuous growth. So can you give us a bit about the token economics that has been designed to make this ecosystem sustainable?
Yes. So we've modeled this on the success of Hyperliquid and the Hype token, where Hyperliquid, the DeFi exchange, took 0.5% of each transaction and uses it to buy back the Hype coin off the market. Now, this is a model that, in a way, I pioneered before them back in 2018 or 2019, but they really took it to the next level. And so what we're doing is the sport exchange is taking 0.5% of all the transactions, buys and sells of these digital assets on the platform, and then buys back the Panda Coin on the market, which drives liquidity into the Panda Coin. It creates a perpetual source of demand. And this model has worked spectacularly in the case of Hyperliquid and Hype token, where they went from a position in maybe 1 to 2 years ago, they were in a similar position to where we are today. And now the Hype token today is trading at $56 and $17 billion market cap. They also used the strategy of airdrop to drive users to their exchange, their Hyperliquid exchange. We're mimicking that model, which was so successful. And we will also be doing airdrops of Panda Coin to users on the sport exchange as a mechanism for them to experience this something new and participate in it while getting rewarded with the coin.
Got it. No, I think that's a very interesting model, creating a deflationary trend in the token economics using buyback as a mechanism. And as you rightly said, Hyperliquid has done it very well. A lot of projects have tried to use buyback to drive the value of token or sustain the value of token. But I think the other piece of equation, which is driving traffic on the platform, I think has to be there to balance it out, right? Or to make that happen. And I think I believe PandaSea is already seeing massive traction. You have got so many users and transactions happening on the testnet and then eventually mainnet. So in this case, having a deflationary mechanism like buyback will definitely um, play an important role. So apart from that, Steve, are you also like using other deflationary methods like burning some of the gas fee or using the gas fee for, let's say, further airdrops and so on and so forth?
Yeah, we're going to do some of these things, and we're going to leave it in, the community's hands to find the best paths here. We've set the initial policy, but as the token, the number of people who hold Panda tokens increases, the point is that they can govern the protocol and make those kind of decisions. I think, as you mentioned, that the buyback model is not completely novel, just was well implemented by Hyperliquid because they have an excellent product that generates a lot of actual revenue to use in the buyback, that being really the key. That the model it requires that you have a fantastic underlying product that generates tremendous revenue. So I think this is a very wise observation. And then the rest of these, the point is to let the community, find the way in the future.
Got it. So I believe that, over a period of time, the community will have a larger say in the direction and various critical decisions of the PandaSea network, right?
Yes, of course. The Panda Coin is not only the native gas coin of our chain, it's a governance token for protocol decisions, and it's also the beneficiary of these revenue buybacks. So it's got a lot of strength.
Got it. Yep. So now, coming to a bit on the underlying tech side, on the application layer, I think the application layer looks pretty cool. It has got a modern design, very very amazing UX UI. So now going underneath on the chain level, so you have chosen Avalanche L1 as your stack, and it's an L1. So a bit about your motivation to choose Avalanche L1 or the L1 stack to launch your own L1, and how do you plan to scale the validator side to make the network more and more decentralized?
Yeah, so one of our innovations is that our Web3 layer is an abstraction layer that separates the user from having to directly connect through MetaMask. The Web3 layer will automatically create non-custodial wallets on our chain, so that that it feels like a Web2 experience. So that's the first point, that our chain is, people won't have to learn a new chain. They just simply have to engage with our interface, and they'll automatically have a non-custodial wallet created for them on the PandaSea chain. Now, part of the motivation here is the number of sports fans who are potentially interested in a model like this is in the billions. This has very, very high potential because of the scale of the sports industry and the love for the sports industry, and for people's desire to have a healthy, profitable model that they can engage with, which we're presenting, the best possible arrangement that we can in the sport exchange. So that means we're going to face incredible pressure on the chain. I would say, wouldn't surprise me in the future if we were higher than all the traffic on all other chains, just because of the size of the sport industry. So therefore, it's important that we can have some control over the quality and speed of all the different servers running nodes. And then, of course, the second stage of that will be decentralization. But our first objective is to simply handle the absolute pressure that we do expect to come, and that we felt that the Avalanche technology with our own L1 embedded in that, with your excellent team's help in managing that layer, is something where we can give the best user experience and speed, simulating the Web 2 feeling of interaction.
Got it. No, I think that's definitely an excellent choice. L1 stack is highly scalable. Throughput is not a challenge. You can easily achieve thousands of TPS and can scale it further as and when required. And at the same time, there are a lot of other features, like, as you rightly mentioned, account abstraction or smart wallets. So that can easily be applied to the L1 stack. In addition to that, interoperability, as I gather, the chain will become more and more successful. Interoperability, and especially when you get into the other assets, other real world assets, I think interop and oracles, etc., becomes very, very important. So the good thing is L1 stack, and with our partnership ecosystem, that can easily be done. So it's highly scalable chain, and I see as an excellent choice. So just a bit about Steve, how your experience has been working with Zeeve, Zeeve being your infrastructure partner to launch the L1 chain and manage the network. So how do you see what like any specific moments where you found this partnership to be extremely valuable and going forward as well?
Yeah, Dr. Ravi, we're very grateful for your team's help and support, because it takes quite a specialized expertise to deal with blockchain, and all of our senior engineers are focused on the product side, which is where we should be focused, allowing. So your team has enabled us to hyper focus on product experience, rather than have to deal with the super complexities of L1 scaling and configurations. So we're very, very thrilled about our interactions with your team, and your just grateful that you guys have this level of expertise and excellent resources to support it.
Yeah, thanks, Steve, for your encouraging words. And we are very, very excited to partner with you in your journey, and we are looking at a very long-term successful partnership with you. So, yeah, Steve. So, a bit about what the roadmap looks like. I'm sure right now the major focus is on the sports exchange, but beyond sports, what are some of the roadmap items that we are going to see in the next 1 year?
So I'll start with the sport exchange, which is the focus point. And this is, again, just an absolutely massive, endless area of attention, because there are 700 sports in the world with thousands and thousands of professional leagues underneath them. So it's almost an endless journey in the world of sports there. Our first focus is launching two specific geographies. We're going to be launching one in Europe and one in the East. And people who follow us on our Twitter of this sport exchange and/or Panda_ecosystem can keep up to date with what those specific milestones and roadmaps. But there's been very heavy efforts and successes in these areas. So we're developing a very, very super executive team of experienced people at scaling kind of Web 2 businesses, because what our business does operate with this kind of simplicity and scale of a Web 2 business. But because PandaSea is a place that is meant to create marketplaces, the things you could see in the future that are related to real world asset monetizations in marketplaces for gold, which actually mechanisms where gold can be decentralized, and where really maybe the first, we call it DLV, DeFi Liquidity Vault. It's a sort of a DeFi ETF for kind of any asset like gold or any kind of commodity. And that's a PandaSea technology that is pretty much ready today, but will get operational focus after the sport exchange is fully firing on all cylinders in the markets. And we also have a SocialFi. The idea is to enable everybody to issue their own keys in the future. And this is an incredibly transformational thing. The idea that people can monetize both their digital value and other defined values that they attach to the keys. And we become a marketplace, a Binance, a New York Stock Exchange for billions of people to actually monetize their own value, assign different kind of digital value to these keys, use these kind of bonding curve and liquidity mechanisms that we've created, and really turn upside down the idea of advertising, because in the future we would expect that people's keys would have to be bought by advertisers in order to reach them through advertising, so that advertising budgets accrue into the market capitalization of people. So this is a topic for another day. Every product needed to do this is already present in the PandaSea ecosystem. It's just that we're sequencing these rollouts.
That's, I think, sounds pretty cool. Yeah, so I think, see, we are at the end of our session. And just to summarize, I think we got excellent insights about PandaSea. Got to know what you are doing and how the product is gaining traction. So I think you have got an amazing business model, seasoned team backing it. You are very well focused on UX, UI, which a lot of projects miss in the Web3 space, whether it be account abstraction, having social logins, giving a Web2 kind of feel to the Web3 users, and then having performance-based yields and newer AMMs modeled on dynamics of Nasdaq or NYSE. Deflationary token economics to ensure the sustainability and continuous value to be generated in the Panda token, using a highly scalable stack, reliable partners, and an very ambitious roadmap. So I think I see all the ingredients here for a massive success, and we definitely would love to continue to work with you, and wish you all the best for taking PandaSea to the market.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Ravi.
Thanks a lot, Steve, once again for joining the Web3 Voice session, and it was lovely talking to you. With that, we sign off from the session. Keep building, keep smiling.